It's FM26 game launch week.
It's about damn time. It's about damn time.
I've been given access to the alpha version for the past couple of days. So for today and tomorrow, we're going to be diving into some FM26 alpha tactic content. Remember, this is an alpha version. The game is not 100% yet. It's not even beta. However, it is superb, more than playable. As you can see, I've been playing with Liverpool. I was going to do a video on Man United, and then Liverpool have collapsed. Kind of. Have they? Let me know down in the comments. I think they've kind of collapsed. Sunday's defeat against Manchester United. Players all over the place. They've got issues in defence. Who do they play at right back? The issue at left back. The midfield variation. What to do with Wirtz. What to do with Salah. What to do with Isak. And we're going to try and solve it in today's half an hour video. So I have put together a couple of tactics in and out of possession that we're going to go through and why and the reasons why. Remember, this channel is all about kind of linking FM to real life football. So we're going to talk real about the issues that Liverpool are facing. And then at the end, we're going to play in the Merseyside derby. We're going to play a game against Everton at home to see if the tactic works. Now, if you want in a general overview of everything FM26, I suggest going and checking out the Musterman. I will leave a link down in the description. If you know me, you probably know him. He's doing more of an overview, and I've decided just to dive straight in to the tactics themselves, because obviously that's what my channel is all about for FM26. So, issues Liverpool are facing. So I've created a couple of, I've actually created three systems. We've got the original version, which is, a generic kind of 4-3-3 with a couple of, Frimpong looks in a different role, doesn't he? And that's because of a lovely little player role that I've already absolutely fallen in love with. We'll talk about that. We've got a second version, which is more of a kind of a Red Bull kind of 4-2-2 without probably having more Salah in the side, depending on the roles that we've got. And we've also got a third version here that's just more of a flipped kind of role with an inverted fullback and allowing maybe Kirkes to play on the left. But the main one that we are actually going to be looking at, because, for this season in particular, Liverpool are probably going to have to find a solution. We want to get Wirtz on the pitch. We want to get Salah on the pitch for now. We need to get Isak there. And just watching how Frimpong played when he came on, I know game state's a massive thing and, Man United were holding on. He had such an impact down that right-hand side. So I thought I need to get him in. Kirkes, we know, is having a bit of a nightmare at left back. So we need to get Robertson in. The big thing that Liverpool have struggled with in particular game against Bournemouth, first game of the season, rest defence, players all over the place. So I've tried to give Liverpool a little bit more structure. The whole substitution thing he did on yesterday, piling everybody onto the pitch, the whole piling everyone onto the pitch on Sunday for the last 20 minutes and hoping it would work was complete madness in my eyes. So we're just going to try and give it a little bit more structure. In possession, out of possession, as you can see, so both screens. This is like a combined screen and gives you a little bit of an average kind of view of where the player's roughly going to be. And you see all the roles. You can change the roles, look, on both in and out of possession on one screen. If you kind of just want a quick overview, you've got your in, your out screen, and then you've also got both. This is generally the screen that I use the most at the moment. And I'm going to show you something called the visualizer, which I think even for us guys that like tactics and for people that have played the game for a number of years, I would still, when you've made a decision or a change, going onto this visualizer and just seeing where players are in certain positions, in particular out of position. As you can see, we've got Mo Salah in a really interesting position out of possession. So what I wanted to do with Liverpool out of possession was to try and create like a basic 4-4-2. I think playing more out wide in a 4-4-2, they've often pressed in a 4-4-2, but with Szoboszlai kind of being the second striker and Salah being out wide, we know he's not great at it anyway, even in his prime. And people, in particular in the game against Chelsea, Cucurella exploited that down that left-hand side of Chelsea, right-hand side for Liverpool. So I'm going to give him like a little bit more freedom, so he doesn't have to worry so much. He's going to need a little bit of work from Isak and Ekitike, but I think for this season, this is the way to go. So in possession, we're going to focus on that first. So ball playing goalkeeper. There you go. So it's a new role. I like the idea of it. I always was a little bit annoyed with the kind of the sweeper keeper on attack kind of role, because it just meant the keeper just kicked long and it wasn't really that keeper that you could build out from the back with. So ball playing goalkeeper for Alisson. We're going to build. BCB means ball playing centre-backs. We're going to have 2 of them with Konate. And interesting on this left-hand side, he's not absolutely amazing at it. I think the game actually, if you right-click on the player shirt, it gives you an option of how good the players are, obviously, in that role. The stars are kind of the same as what they've always been. But I just fancy Robertson on that left-hand side. We've got him as an inverted fullback with the idea that he doesn't get too far. He will sit in and build with a 3. We'll have extra protection, rest defence. Konate has also got a player instruction of stay wider. So when we're in possession, we kind of have a nice wide back 3. That was the thought behind it. Now, on this right-hand side, we've got an AWB. Not Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but an advanced wing-back. Now, I've been playing with Manchester United a little bit as well and trying to get that 3 at the back going. And I had Diallo and Dorgu on this. And I saw a massive difference between sort of like the wing-back and the advanced wing-back. We know as well how good Frimpong is in that final third. So I really wanted to utilise that. Very much his role at Leverkusen, that advanced wing-back. The kind of the old wing-backs kind of get there, but they get there a little bit late. So like in that final third. Hopefully we'll see Frimpong getting on that back line, that defensive line a lot earlier. Gravenberch, simple. DM. There's only 3 roles that you could select, like a bog standard midfield. Oh, you know, the idea is that you then go into your player instructions and tweak and change. But we need someone just to sit. I do think Liverpool maybe need to sign someone in there to kind of go alongside him, to allow Gravenberch to maybe to be one of these number 8 kind of roles as well. With Endo not really been fancied, they definitely need to get someone in there to help them out. He's going to sit. In here, we've got our 2 kind of number 8s. We've got McAllister as a midfield playmaker. There's all the roles there. So we've got wide central midfield, a channel midfielder, but we want someone who's going to be good on the ball, creative on the ball. The other side, we've got wide central midfield. Now, we've done that with a couple of player instructions as well. I think we've got, make more forward runs from him. What we want Szoboszlai to do is similar to what he did last season and worked in this underlapping run. He was also, you know, if you think about the great Liverpool side of Trent, Jordan Henderson and Salah, the Henderson role was very much coming into these areas and helping Salah out, covering Trent at times as well. And we need Szoboszlai to do that for us. But I'm hoping we'd still get a little bit with having more forward runs in the player instructions. Now, Mo Salah on the right is absolutely golden in the game. We don't have to worry, well, I don't. You Liverpool fans don't have to worry about it. He's absolutely awesome. He will score goals. Fun, as you can see. 6 goals, 6 games. He started all right, including 2 in the Champions League against Barcelona. So we've put him as an inside forward. There's other roles in there. Winger, inside forward, player-making winger, inside winger, wide forward as well. Did that with Brahim Mbeumo the other night, and that was good as well. But to get Salah, remember we want Salah in the outer possession to kind of move into that striker role. So I thought the closer he is to that role, the better in terms of the in and out. And then when the transition happens, he's not kind of got as far. If he's really hugging his touchline, he's then got to cover more ground. We're also getting Frimpong coming up on the right-hand side. So it made sense to kind of move Salah on the kind of being more of an inside forward and being more of a goal threat. Now, left-hand side, winger, Florian Wirtz. He needs to play on this left-hand side. We may do it when the FM26 game drops. We may at some point do a huge video on Florian Wirtz and try and sort out his role. Now, at the moment, he's played in a 4-2-3-1 at Liverpool, playing really central. However, in his Leverkusen days, he was often part of like a 2-10, a double 10, and would often pick balls up. I'll put his heat map on the screen now of his sort of like his touches from the last couple of seasons at Leverkusen. As you can see, he likes to go out to that left-hand side. It gives him a little bit more freedom. The body shape is different. When he's on the touchline, you open out your body, you can see the whole pitch. In the middle there, you're often surrounded by double pivots, 2 centre-halves, not as much room to work in. So we need to get him out on this left-hand side. Now, interestingly, the roles, you would probably say a playmaking winger, but because of the role of Robertson on this side, we're not going to get much from Robertson in terms of the overlap. So I needed to come up with something different. So I've kind of tweaked this winger role to kind of make it a little bit of a playmaking role. So we've gone winger that stays wide. However, but that's only when the team is in possession. When he has the ball, he's going to cut inside, he's going to dribble more, we're going to roam from position, and we're going to take more risks, and I'm getting him to cross that ball to Salah at the back post. My idea was look, those instructions, we should see Florian Wirtz kind of drifting. Maybe not drifting in possession too much, But when he does have the ball at his feet, when he's in possession of the ball, he will then cut in. I think at the moment that's the best way we're going to get kind of Florian Wirtz going. He's made a decent start, 1 goal, 3 assists in those 6 games. By the way, I'm absolutely loving all this. The only thing is I can't change my colours yet. I'm hoping that comes. I never liked the yellow and the green. I've always had put a bit of blue in and red in and stuff. But this, absolutely love it. It makes such a difference having the face packs, all these tiles. It just looks clean and nice, doesn't it? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments of how it's looking. As you can see, I'm working around it. I have played it obviously for a number of hours, so I've kind of got used to where most of the things is. I haven't really dived into a main save yet, so there'll be definitely learning processes when the beta drops on Thursday. That is the in possession with a couple of team instructions. The team instructions, now you can do it by where you are on the zone, and it'll just give you an option of what it is, depending on if you're in and out of possession. But I tend to just go there, all instructions, and you get all the in possessions on screen. Then it's just the easiest way, clearest way to show you. So we've gone shorter passing, higher tempo, counter-attacking, yes. I've given us as much width as possible. Keep the ball in play rather than work on set pieces. I've left the creative freedom balanced because we've got enough creativity in there. I don't think we need to overdo it. Balanced strategy. Now, this is interesting because you can play through the press or bypass the press. And I've decided to keep it balanced so we can mix up. I always find Liverpool, even though they play short a lot of the time, keep the ball. We still want that element of finding Salah so we can play through the press, especially when we've got players in higher positions, such as the Salah role that we're going to talk about out of possession. Goalkeeper kicks mixed, goalkeeper distribution balanced, but that can be tweaked. That's basically who you're going to play the ball to. You've got your supporting runs. This is a big one, supporting runs. So a lot of the tiles that you need to click into. So on the right hand side, we've gone overlap, and on the left hand side, we've gone underlap, just so we could try and hopefully get someone with Wirtz in this position here. Can we get someone making that run there where the space is? Hopefully we can see that in today's game. And we've got work into the box, discourage shooting from distance. I've seen a lot of that so far, so I wanted to kind of discourage that as much as possible. The only thing I haven't mentioned, the centre forward. Isak, we've got him as a CFD, which is just a general centre forward, but I have been tweaking between a deep line forward and a target forward. Once again, Sesko, Manchester United. I really like the link player that we had with Sesko as a target forward, but we're going to go centre forward goal threat for Isak. Now, out of possession, this is the big one. What we've got is you can kind of change these wherever you want. There's also things in when you set up your tactic initially, if you want to go through like the presets, it gives you a step-by-step. I've decided to dive straight into it and make my own version of what I think would work. So different roles, once again. You've got your sweeper keeper and line holding goalkeeper because we're going to be playing with a high line, so it's important that Alisson is a sweeper keeper. There's different options. Not as many, but there is different options. Like the fullback, there's a pressing one, and then a hold, and then a generic. Now, it's very important, I think, that you don't select too many different roles apart from the bog standard, what we would call, the basic defensive midfielder centre-back. Because what will happen then, if you've got loads of players doing different jobs, they will lose their shape. Let's say McAllister's is a presser, Gravenberch is a sitter, so there's going to be more space in there. Let's say we've got Van Dijk advancing, a pressing, there's going to be space in there. If we've got 2 fullbacks going, there's going to be space in there. If we have the 2 wide players as tracking wide midfielders, which means they're dropping there, it means generally, I think, your out of possession is going to be all over the place. So just try and select a couple of unique roles, and I've done it with the 2 strikers. So TCF is a tracking centre forward. Now, what I wanted him to do was, he doesn't so much support the defence, but he supports the midfield a little bit. I think with the role of Salah and trying to get the best out of Salah, we need the centre forward to be a little bit more helping towards the team and maybe at times even making maybe a 4-5-1 in possession. So we're going to do that with Isak. I think Ekitike would do it probably better, but we're going to do that with him. It also gives him the option of really then dropping in and hopefully marking maybe a double pivot when they're playing maybe with a single pivot in maybe a 4-3-3. We can maybe get outnumbered in there with the 2. So it's important that hopefully today, I think we expect Everton to play with a 3. So it'd be good to see what Isak does in that tracking role. How far does he go back? And then SCF for Salah. So Isak's on the tracking. You've got a centre forward who basically just holds his line up the top. But this is a splitting centre forward where you can see he kind of sits on that right-hand side. That's what I want Mo Salah to be. He's going to cheat a little bit We're going to use him as an out ball. If we go onto the visualizer, so team instructions for the visualizer, out of possession. Let's see, we're defending our box 14. Look, he's a threat. You know, what I would like to see as well, once that ball's on this left-hand zone, you would expect maybe the left-back to be in this area here. If we can counter, it means Mo Salah's going to probably split the two centre-halves. So I'm really excited to see how well that works. From what I've seen so far in the game, what I've put in here pretty much then replicates into the game. I've not been left puzzled too much yet. Still time for that. But at the moment, things are looking pretty good. And we've got the two wide midfielders, Wirtz. Schlobber's line is interesting as well. Can you see he's moved? So he's gone from a right into a right central midfielder into a right midfielder. Now let's just say we put him over there. You get a little icon that says, yup, you've put him in. That's too far. Always just check. A couple of times when I've done a couple of changes, even things like the two centre-halves. So in possession, look, Van Dijk, Konate. Out of possession, Konate, Van Dijk. So just something to be aware of. That little change between an out of possession might cost you a goal there. It won't necessarily come up because the players are very close together, but just make sure everything is kind of how you expect it to be. This is where this screen becomes super impressive, super important, where you can kind of match up. Yeah, they're all where they should be, dropping into the right holes. And then very quickly, the out of possession team instructions. So you've got all instructions, out of possession, couple of extra clicks, but you soon get the habit of doing it extremely quickly. So line of engagement, high press with a much higher defensive line. We're Liverpool, aren't we? Trigger press I've left off as standard. We're going to press more anyway. We've got counter press. I just thought trying to do it too much with the players that we've kind of got. Wirtz out on the left. He was actually kind of decent presser actually, but Mo Salah, I think we don't want to do it all the time. We'll do it at hopefully sensible times and the right time. Counter press, tackling standard, balance, everything used to. We're going to trap outside. So I really want to see us getting into two narrow banks of four. That's what I'm hoping that we see in the match engine. I've often struggled with this in FM24 when we've gone to try and make a team around out of position. Getting that Simeone kind of two narrow banks of four is tricky. So I hope FM26 can absolutely nail it. And then we are going to stop short goalkeeper distribution. Really, we want the goalkeeper punting long if we can, so then we can win those. Even though the goal for Manchester United came at the weekend, my structure is set up better than Slot, so we should be fine with that. Kick long, get Van Dijk and Konate dealing with it. Right, that is all the tactical stuff. Any questions of our founder, anything you want to know, put it down in the comments. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to do for a video tomorrow. I've got an idea about Bayern Munich because they're by far the best team in Europe at the moment. So we may cover Bayern Munich. But if you want any other suggestions about something else tactically to cover, put it down in the comments tonight. I'm not going to start making the video till 9 a.m. the following day, tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. So yeah, put your suggestions down in the comments. Right, let's go play this Merseyside derby. So we've started the season really well. We absolutely smashed Bournemouth. We've had a couple of draws, Newcastle. I think we drew with Arsenal. It's the same kind of setup, by the way. The games are what you've played in terms of the actual league season. So we know they started with a win against Bournemouth. We've then played and drawn 3-3 at Newcastle, Arsenal 1-1, 2-1 at Burnley, and then we've just absolutely smashed Barcelona 4-0. Take that. Right, Everton. Let's go. So a little bit of teamwork, the general chat. It's just changing. It's all still there. A couple of different kind of things you can tell the players. You've still got your defensive chats you can highlight. To be honest, we don't. Make me proud. Still, you get all these extra questions as well that I normally click through. I'll probably get my assistant manager to do them. But here we are. Team sheet. Still not all the faces there yet, but it's already looking. So your in-possession tactic will be the tactic that sets up. You also get to see Everton's out-of-possession tactic as well when the game gets going. Graphics looking good, aren't they? There you go. Music's on. It's trying. Remember, it's an alpha. I think you can choose to have it on and off. Like I've taken this match sounds off and things like that. So you can choose. Right. Camera angles. Now, this is the camera angle I've been using as I like to have a bit of a kind of a tactical view of what's going on and seeing the shape. So there's different angles. Now, the one that you'll probably be most familiar with is the broadcast. Like if you want in like that real kind of TV experience, this is the one. So we're going to do a little bit of both just to kind of see how the tactic is looking. You've got your 2D, you've got behind the goal, you've got aerial, which I've been using, broadcast, this tactical one as well, which is just a little bit closer. Dynamic sideline and then vertical scrolling. But, you know, tactical works pretty well. It gives you an idea of where your players are and the shape that they're setting up. And away we go. Once we've kind of seen a couple of things in the tactical cam, we'll then kind of change it. All right, let's get the broadcast on. So these are nice little kind of cut scenes where you've got a little bit of a variation in the camera angle. And then it cuts to the broadcast. What I've tried to create with Liverpool as well is a lot better. Not a bit better, but a lot. That's a penalty, referee. It's going to VAR. Want to make sure Liverpool had rest defence. So we'd hopefully see that we don't get counted on too much because of what we've got with the back three with Robertson, Van Dijk and Konate holding their positions. Penalty, by the way. And we've also got Gravenberch not getting forward. We've put nothing on there. He's kind of really that old school kind of anchor. Right, Mo Salah from the penalty spot after 5 minutes bangs it in. 1-0. No assist. We're up and running. There we go. Nice little replay review as well from the penalty spot. That penalty spot is massive. There we go. Keeper got a hand. Dive through the goal. It's an alpha. So we can report bugs and stuff. And this is what you guys are going to have to do with the beta comes out. You know, you get the early access so you can help the game become that little bit better by just seeing little things. Right, we're absolutely dominating the game. So as you can see, if I just pause it, you've got your dugout where you get nice little suggestions from your assistant manager. I've used them a fair bit, actually. You've got your in possessions, and then you've got your out of possessions, look, and you've got a few little match stats that you could change. You've got your latest scores, your players as well. If you left click on the position, it gives you all the information that you need to kind of make a sub quickly. And obviously when there's a highlight involved, you can do it mid-highlight, pause and just click so you don't have to dive into the tactics screen all the time. Right, highlight, Konate. Stepping forward, so you can see he's a little bit wide. And this is where we might get caught out, but we've won the ball back. So I'm just going to put it onto the other screen, just so you can see what I was aiming for. So what we've got now is a little bit of a back three. You see we've got a 3 and a 1. The issue that Liverpool had at the weekend against Manchester United, that we're asking McAllister to be way too high. So the transitions, he was always in here, McAllister, trying to really work on that back three, and it didn't work. Frimpong's giving us that width on that right-hand side, look. And Salah being there. Almost, I've kind of got Salah as like what you would maybe call a wide poacher, where we're not asking, here he is, he's going to score, isn't he? Oh, he should have scored. He absolutely should have scored. So I'm always kind of swapping between the two kind of camera views. When you're kind of happy and seeing what you want to see from your team and the instructions that you've maybe set up, maybe pre-season's a good idea to kind of use that tactical cam. But then once you're happy, you know, we're controlling the game, that's what we're going to put. It's then good to come into this, and this is where you get to really see the match experience properly. It's all us at the moment, which is to be expected, innit? It's Everton. It's a David Moyes Everton. So is he going to cut in Florian Wirtz? Oh, he's won as a free kick. Take that. Get the big boys forward. Schlobbersai free kick. Headed, look. Look, we've got rest defence. That against Bournemouth, that was Semenyo just running through the middle of the pitch, wasn't it? We've got good rest defence. You can do this better with your your set piece instructions, your out of possession instructions. You can make a really good shape. Let's just go on to, just for a couple of minutes, let's just go on to comprehensive. Just see if we can see that out of possession. So here we go. Tactical cam. So we've got now Salah playing as that central forward, look. We've got the two centre halves. He's kind of then, that's the issue for me, that one there. This number 6. Let's see how well we deal with that. Gone short. Gone long. Schlobbersai is going to get on that. We've won it down. We're in. Salah. Ooh, nearly scored. A little bit of luck with that one. So here we go, look. Wirtz giving us that width on the left. This is where he wants it. So we 1v1. Look, he's glided past 1. Past 2. He's going himself. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. Good movement. Salah. Oh, offside. Random one. Right, let's get Ekitike on, shall we? I think so. Like, I've done that without having to go into the game. You know, like we could do on FM24. Quickens it up. The 2D thing is nice. It's a nice. I would have preferred heat map. Going to be honest, I preferred a heat map. We haven't got a heat map. Extra stats, but it's better than what we see in FM24. It just gives you a little bit of an idea of where the play is developing a little bit more. Which side maybe the opponents are using one side or the other, especially if you're on key highlights or whatever. It gives you maybe a better indication of how your team's doing out of possession. Where's their threat coming from? Is it coming from the right, the left? We've scored. Virgil van Dijk, 2-0. And this is what Liverpool should be doing. Giving themselves a proper little base to start from, a good foundation. Allow your superstars to do superstar things, but give them a foundation, a platform to do it. And at the moment, he's just trying to shove everyone in to one big pot and trying to make something amazing out of it. And you need balance, don't you? We've absolutely dominated the game. Look, 18 shots to 3. We're not going to see more out of possession. We might be able to show you that tomorrow with something different. As I said, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see tomorrow. Going to start recording, coming up with ideas at like 9 a.m. when I've had my brekkie. So let me know. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe because FM26 content with the in and out of possession now, we're totally sorted for FM26. I am thankyou. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow, 4 p.m. See you later.